Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be testing 5 Nexus games that come with official FSR 3.1 on my Rog Ally. I have the Z1 Extreme variant of this device. Now I have already tested these games on my Ally running at 720p resolution using low to medium settings. In all of the games the gameplay experience was very smooth. This time I'll be running the games at 900p resolution. We'll also try out some higher settings. In such scenarios, the limited physical memory of Rog Ally can be a problem. Ally comes with 16 GB of physical memory which is shared between the CPU and the GPU. When a game runs out of VRAM, it taps into the virtual memory, which is basically a memory buffer created on the device's internal storage. This virtual memory is considerably slower than the physical memory, and this is why games start to stutter when they are heavily reliant on the virtual memory. Game's 1% FPS performance gets affected negatively. I'll kick things off with Horizon Forbidden West. On Rog Ally, you need to set the UMA buffer size to auto in order to prevent the game from crashing. My Ally is running on BIOS version 3.3.8. I've installed AMD's GPU driver, Adrenalin Edition 24.6.1, using a 25 watts manual profile, all 3 power values set at 25 watts, 900p resolution, CPU boost disabled. Connected my GuliKit KK3 Max gamepad to Ally via Bluetooth mode. These are the game settings: 900p resolution, upscaler, XeSS using its quality preset, VSync off, frame generation disabled for the time being. I'll kick things off with the medium preset. A lot of people were asking me to test the game at this preset on Ally. Motion blur strength disabled. Adrenaline settings, only FreeSync is enabled, anti-lag and VSync disabled. Using a custom afterburner overlay to show you the performance metrics, I have also enabled the frame pacing graph. It will give you an idea about the micro stuttering. There's Aloy. Quarry set is nearby. I will be fighting against some bristlebacks. Okay, without frame generation, FPS is around 30, 28. Very choppy gameplay. Not the ideal way to play the game on Rog Ally. We are hitting the GPU bottleneck. I can observe the jitter in the gameplay as well as on the frame pacing graph. Let's enable frame generation, see what happens. When using frame generation, the recommended minimum FPS is 60 in order to keep the input delay in check and avoid frame generation related artifacts. FSR frame generation enabled, apply, resume the game. FPS is close to 50 now. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. Frame generation is amazing. 50 FPS with frame generation is way better than the real 30 FPS. That choppiness is definitely gone now. Let's engage in combat. I hope the FPS does not drop down to 40. It's not going to look good. 40 FPS with frame generation. Where are the bristlebacks? There they are.
Looks like some sort of quarry.
Full of bristlebacks.
Here we go.
Trying to shoot the green canister. Oh no, using the wrong arrow. Got this creature. It's going to explode. Observe the FPS counter. 45 FPS. Oh no, I almost died there. Okay, let's just use the low preset now. First I'll use this rope and jump into the battlefield. It's 45 to 50 FPS. Switch to the low preset. Okay, FPS increased to around 60. Not bad at all. Another bristleback coming my way. Quickly restore my health.
Incoming.
Temperatures are in check. Close to 70 degrees Celsius. Nothing extreme. Device is not overheating. 50 to 60 FPS. So many creatures. They have gone mad. I'm also running around like a madman. Game's interface is not flickering. Let's test the next game. Good performance in Forbidden West. Now I'll be testing the Spiderman games. Just switch the UMA buffer size to 7 GB. This can be done from Army Crate application. 7 GB restart. We'll be using the same 25 watts profile for all of the games. This game runs very nicely on Ally. 900p resolution, XCSS upscaler using its quality preset, frame generation disabled for the time being. I'll straight away run the game using very high preset, why not? Motion plus strength and film gain strength disabled. Adrenaline settings, FreeSync and VSync enabled, that's it. Guys, there's Spiderman. Unfortunately the game just froze. Look at the VRAM usage, reached 7 GB. So very high preset is not recommended. I need to restart the game and drop the preset to high. Let's try that again. Drop the preset to high. Game shouldn't be freezing now. There's Spiderman, and you can see this time the VRAM usage is less than 6 GB. 50 to 60 FPS. I'll just swing around. Look at that traffic. And this is the game running without frame generation. Good performance, to be honest. Just enable frame generation now. Frame generation increases the VRAM usage. Enabled. Yeah, VRAM usage is close to 6 GB now. That's why I had set the UMA buffer size to 7 GB. 90 FPS, 100 FPS is frame generation on. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. You can play Spider-Man at 900p resolution and high preset on Rog Ally. Impressed by the device's performance. Okay, VRAM usage is still increasing. $7 GB of UMA buffer size should be able to handle the game at these settings. I'll be testing Miles Morales. Expect similar performance. I on the Epic Games version of Miles. Adrenaline settings, FreeSync and VSync enabled, that's it. Game settings, do not use very high preset. 900p resolution, XCSS upscaler using its quality preset, frame generation disabled for the time being, VSync off. High preset, motion plus strength and film gain strength set to nil. There's Miles. Performance is similar to the previous game, 50 to 60 FPS, just swing around. Dropped into the 40s. VRAM usage is around 5.9 GB. Stay close to the streets. Let's enable frame generation on. Yeah, now we are getting around 90 FPS. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. 900p resolution and high preset possible on Rog Ally. Should be getting a good experience. While swinging around the city, FPS is around 80. So much traffic. Game's interface is rendered properly. Not observing any frame generation related artifact. I'll be testing the next game. Ghost of Tsushima. I'll drop the UMA buffer size setting to 6 GB. Adrenaline settings for Ghost of Tsushima. FreeSync and VSync enabled, that's it. In-game settings, 900p resolution. XCSS upscaler using its quality preset, frame generation disabled for the time being, VSync disabled. I'll use the medium preset. Motion plus 10 set to nil. There's Jin. I'm at Golden Temple, surrounded by a lot of non-playable characters. Good area for testing the game. You can see FPS is around 40. Still the game is playable, a bit choppy. We are out of Rog Ally's VRAM range, that is 48 to 120 Hz. 36 FPS. Okay, let's enable frame generation now. VRAM usage is around 4.1 GB. Frame generation set to FSR 3. Now the FPS is close to 60. I'll just sprint around. 60 FPS with frame generation in this game does not look as good as the real 60 FPS. Still better than the real 35 to 40 FPS. Let me just increase the texture quality to high. Using the medium preset, VRAM usage is around 4.2 GB with frame generation enabled. Texture quality set to high. Keep an eye on the VRAM usage. Oh my god, already reached 5 GB. Sprinting. Still increasing. Getting closer to 6 GB. During the cutscenes, VRAM usage will go past 6 GB. You need to set the UMA buffer size to 7 GB. Can play the game this way. Not the ideal experience. Entirely up to you. Interface is not flickering, as you can see. Now I'll be testing the next game. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This game consumes a lot of VRAM. I'll just set the UMA buffer size to 7 GB. Header and settings for Ratchet and Clank. FreeSync and VSync enabled, that's it. In-game settings 900p resolution, XeSS upscaler, quality set to quality. Frame generation disabled for the time being. VSync off. I'll run the game using the medium preset. Motion plus strength and frame gain strength set to nil. There's Ratchet. FPS is around 50. Oh my god, look at that VRAM usage. In this game, when you go through the rifts, a massive FPS drop occurs on Rog Ally. Gameplay suddenly becomes from smooth to sluggish. Show you this. There's the rift. So up the FPS counter. Like 49 to 60 FPS. Again 50 to 63 FPS. You can see the frame time spikes. Engage in combat. Can observe the choppiness. It would be better to set the UMA buffer size to 8 GB, but in that case we'll be running out of physical memory for the CPU. Status. Now I'll enable frame generation, and again Rog Ally X will be coming with 24 GB of physical memory, perfect for this game. Just set the UMA buffer size to 8 GB. Even after that we'll be having around 16 GB of physical memory for the CPU. Exactly what's needed for this game. With frame generation on, FPS increase to around 70. It's very variable. No action is going on during combat. Oh my god, what just happened? Game froze. See, this is what happens when you run out of physical memory. I think we ran out of VRAM. Yeah, the game just crashed. See, I knew this would happen in the case of Ratchet and Clank. Very demanding on the VRAM. So that's it with the video, guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.